The resignation of Justice of the Court of Appeal Franz Parke, announced today, is unique in the annals of Belizean history. From the moment his name was first announced to join the appellate court, his credentials were questioned, as he had not practiced in the Caribbean since 1980, despite graduating from law school with Prime Minister Dean Barrow in 1975. But the former classmate declared it was enough for him.
I genuinely do not see that Mr. Parke's, the fact that the bulk of Mr. Parke's practicing experience has been in the United States, more time practicing in the US than in the Caribbean. I do not see that that's a disqualification. And when I look at the Constitution, what is required is that this person should have been entitled to practice in our jurisdiction for a certain number of years. And he was so entitled from 1975. I'm sorry to say that it's as long ago as that I graduated and that therefore he graduated. So I am convinced he had come already, and he did one session as a temporary judge. I had no complaints from the president of the court or from any other member of the court, and I am convinced that Franz, as bright as he is, and with all the experience that he has, will make a fine Justice of Appeal.
The opposition, with support from the Bar Association, the Chamber of Commerce, unions, and the NGO community, argued otherwise and instituted a legal challenge that was scheduled for trial next Monday, December 11th. That Parke has now decided to throw in the towel, Briceño said, was the right thing, but it should not have reached this point.
We should never reach to a point where we are challenging the Prime Minister's appointments to either the Supreme Court or to the Court of Appeal. But saying that, I want to welcome the news that Justice Franz Parke has tendered his resignation as a justice for the Court of Appeal. I think that he did the right thing. In a democracy, it is very important for us to always feel that the judiciary is independent and that there's no undue influence on the part by anybody, be it the government or the opposition. And in a time when we are finding ourselves in a really sad situation in our country, when the government, through the Prime Minister of Belize, has decided that he is going to completely disregard a ruling from the highest court in the land, it raises concerns.
The PUP in a press release stated that it was, quote, grateful that Mr. Parke, in the end, demonstrated the moral fortitude, respect, and regard for the court and the country, which unfortunately Mr. Barrow did not, end quote. And because he did, Briceño has instructed attorneys to withdraw his legal challenge, since the objective has been achieved without the need for trial. When the case was first called up, Senior Counsel A1 Courtney discussed what might happen if the ruling went against Parke.
If the court were to hold that the decision of the Prime Minister to advise the Governor General to appoint Mr. Parke is unconstitutional, then it follows that his appointment is unconstitutional, and any matter on which he has sat would be affected by that unconstitutionality. As you know, Mr. Parke was well aware that this matter was pending. The government was well aware that this matter was pending, and they proceeded nonetheless to make the appointment. So if there is a consequence, they knowingly proceeded with a challenge pending in the wings.
It appears that rather than test that consequence, the Jamaican American fell on his sword. So what happens next? Another appointment is needed before the Court of Appeal resumes in March, and the opposition leader, who must be consulted, has some ideas.
What the Prime Minister needs to do is to quickly start to look for making another appointment, but someone that can meet the qualifications that is expected of a justice at the level of the Court of Appeals. This matter of writing you a letter and said, by writing you a letter I've consulted and I can do as I wish, is no longer going to work. Because if we feel that, again, he's trying to ram down somebody that is friendly to him and that could potentially be answerable to him, we will object, and we will then go to our social partners, as we did with this case, and get the support, and if necessary, then go and challenge it in court.
Aaron Humes reporting for News 5.